Boom, I'm back. I apologize for that. It's going to make some video editing for me later. But we do have, we're back in business with the charts, so let us go to next, the YM, the Dow. Hello, Alan. No, I trade off, I trade intraday, so I generally trade off the 15-minute time frame. This is a question I'm answering for someone in the chat room. I trade off the 15-minute time frame generally intraday, and I use all of the other time frames. I use the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, the hourly, the 30-minute, the 15-minute, and sometimes the 5-minute. Ichimoku charts are stronger and more accurate on longer time frames. And so when I go over the weekly charts each week, it is because these are really serious signals. We're looking at the broader picture here, the broader trend overall. So I hope that helps. And going back to the chart here, we have we see a slightly different configuration in the Tenkan-sen here, in that the Tenkan-sen is tipping up slightly. It's not completely flat. We did have a new high last week and a potential reversal candle. Then we did confirm the reversal, so we're now in a downtrend. This is a very bearish candle for the YM. I noticed that IBM sold off a couple bucks on Friday. IBM is often responsible for Dow action, I have noticed. In fact, if they want to fluff the Dow and make it go higher, they buy IBM in large chunks. So you might want to watch IBM if you trade the Dow. But anyway, so we could come down into 17,905, and that would be an excellent buy point, in my opinion, on the weekly time frame for the Dow. If we do lose that level on a closing basis, meaning the weekly candle, then I would look for a potential test of the Kijun-sen below here at 17648. Next up, I'm going to do some precious metals. Everyone loves the gold. Oops. Well, I don't love the gold. I love the silver. But anyway, you might know that if you've been following me for any length of time. So gold is still fully bearish, as much as gold bugs want to get excited. Like, if I was a gold bug, I would not get excited until we get over 1262. If we get over the cloud with gold, then I can start getting excited about getting long gold, or putting some gold bricks under my bed or something like that. But for the moment, no thank you. Gold is fully bearish. It's in a downtrend. It's under the cloud, and it has lost the support of the Tenkan-sen that it was holding last week. So I would not be interested in buying gold here. I would be interested in potentially shorting it, but we want it to stay under 1200, and 1200 has been a significant level. If you trade gold, you know that gold 1200 has been like a magnet level for quite a while now. Since for the last since last September. 1200 is just like, we'll go up, we'll go down, we'll come back to 1200. So it's been like an equilibrium point for gold almost. But we do have some buyers that came in off the lows, off the 1180 area. Also of note in this chart is we do have a bear cross. The Kijun-sen, the pink line, is crossed over the Tenkan-sen. We do have the fact that both the cloud and the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen are all flat and pointing sideways. Looks for more consolidative type price action under the cloud before a move in either direction happens. Let's take note about this indicator in the Ichimoku, the Chikou, this red line here that is hanging back. The Chikou represents current price action, so it's representing exactly what this candle is doing, but 26 periods into the past. And it's really a handy aspect of Ichimoku because it gives you another set of parameters. So, like for instance, you don't know why this candle chose to close at this level because you don't see anything around this candle. You don't see any levels, any indicators. But if you come back here, you see that the Chikou found support at the Tenkan Sen right here, and that's why the candle closed at this level. The Chikou tried to sell down below the Tenkan Sen, and then came back and found support at the Tenkan Sen. So if we do actually, I mean, it's slightly below it. It's in the middle of this red candle, so it's a little bit hard to see because it's also red. But if we do get a bounce on gold, we can expect that the Kijun Sen might hold it to the upside. But you see that's higher than the cloud and the Kijun Sen. So chances are it would be first stopped by the 1200, then next stopped by the cloud at about 1216, and then next resistance level would be 1224.70, the Kijun Sen inside the cloud. I'll be impressed if it gets into the cloud. Let's just say that. Let's look at silver. Silver also, you can see the overall big trend. Well, I have the chart zoomed out from here. Let me try to not zoom it out. See, we had the high over here in 2013, and I was loving this uptrend here from $26 to $35. Look at those candles. I mean, that was just a fantastic long trade on silver. But we have the high put in there, and then just really nice downtrend with a few little bounces, but overall just down. I mean, you can say that this area from July of 13 until July of 14 was consolidation, and then a further down move. Maybe this could be consolidation for then another further down move. I'm sure that you don't want to hear me say that, and I don't know that to be true. It could just as easily go reverse and go higher, and everyone with silver under their bed will become vastly rich and buy yachts. So we do see that last week's candle, silver did close above the Tenkan Sen, so it was able to hold the support level at 1666, and at the same time the Chikou span found support at the top of this candle. So silver does have support here, but it's stuck between the Tenkan Sen and the cloud above. So as the Tenkan Sen, as the next candle opens up, the Tenkan Sen will probably go sideways again. Kijun Sen will probably go sideways again, but we will not have a lot of space between the Tenkan Sen and the cloud. So silver will be sort of forced to either make a really small doji between those two levels, or to break either into the cloud or below the Tenkan Sen. So we'll see what happens. We are in a downtrend, as you can tell, as after this bullish candle found resistance at the cloud, and then the next candle got squeezed out of the cloud but stayed above the Tenkan Sen, and then this candle sort of filled in that space. So bearish overall on silver, but some support to be had. Let's move on to, let's go to the bonds. This, I'm using this weekly chart. This gap here makes things a little bit complicated. I won't bother explaining why that gap is there, but we'll just pretend it's not here, and we'll look at these candles, the current candles. So after last week's candle held support above the Kijun Sen, this week's candle did sell below the Kijun Sen for a while, and then got a hearty bounce and closed above the Kijun Sen. So we do have the support of the Kijun Sen to keep in mind here at 153.26. Overall, the chart is bullish. We do have overhead resistance up here at the Tenkan Sen at 158.31. So if we do get continued buying, we can look for that as a target for a long trade. If we do lose the 153.26 level, a short trade would be indicated, potentially heading down towards the cloud. But overall, chart is bullish, except for being under the Tenkan Sen, really. And you see the cloud is rising. into the future. So no reason to get uber bearish on 30-year Treasury bonds at the moment. Let's look at the 10-year. Very choppy price action on the weekly time frame. I'm going to zoom in. We found that last week's candle came down and tested the bottom of the cloud here and bounced and got a close above the cloud. You see that there's a bit of a wick here. I don't know if you're paying attention on Friday, but bonds sold off at the end of the day, kind of substantially, leaving this topping tail. We do have a flat Tenkan Sen and a flat Kijun Sen above that could attract price action up at 128.050. And that would be solid resistance. And you see that the last several candles have closed at or below that 128.050 level. If we do lose the cloud here, we still technically have support all inside the cloud, throughout the cloud, until we get down to around 126, 190 area. Let's move to, and I see that we have 10 minutes until the market opens, so I'm going to be careful with my time because the charts will change. The new weekly candles will open at 6. So this is the dollar. I use the DX chart frequently as a dollar indicator, as it allows me to look at one chart rather than looking at many dollar pair FX charts at once. So the dollar closed above the Tenkan Sen after putting in a strong bullish move after this very strong bullish candle last week. But it did put in a big topping tail, so be wary of the DX losing the 97.43 level. If it does do that, we could see it sell down to the 94.30, 94.29 level of the Kijun Sen. And we do have a rising cloud, but overall the dollar chart is still quite bullish. And you see the RSI, which was overbought for quite some time, it's no longer overbought. So that might be something to keep in mind. It worked off its overbought condition. Let's look at coffee, because we like to. Coffee is putting in a big bear flag. This is the overall chart, and then I'm going to zoom in. Coffee put in a close above the Tenkan Sen 2 weeks ago, so it was kind of unclear whether or not it was going to start a new uptrend after this potential trend change candle doji was confirmed with a new trend to the upside, but then we were unable to get above this 139 area, and we sold off significantly 2 weeks ago. And then last week we put in this doji potential reversal candle, really, but in order for the reversal to be confirmed, we need a higher high and a higher low. So we need to get above 128.60 and a close and a low that's above 123.55 for coffee. If we do get some buying, we can look at 135.45 to stop it in its tracks. When we do get to 135, if we do get to 135.45, that would be a nice potential short area if you would like to take a Tenkan Smackdown setup. And I've gone through my Tenkan Smackdown setup before. I do have a video here on Ticker TV called Tenkan Smackdown setup or something like that. You can look at some point. I think it's on my YouTube channel also. And by the way, if you follow me here on Ticker TV, you'll be notified whenever I do go live, which I do go live every day pretty much, although I was absent a little bit last week, but I do go live and talk about crude in the mornings. I do a little video for just 5 minutes. I go through the various time frames in crude, which is a nice way to start off your day if you're, or proceed with your day, because I don't always do it that early, but it's a nice way to get a good overall overview of crude on multiple time frames. So let's look at corn, because we were saw some action in corn last week. Still, well, it looks like on the weekly time frame, still quite bearish. In fact, totally bearish. There's nothing bullish about this chart. The Chikou is below the Tenkan-sen, price action is below the cloud and below the Tenkan-sen and below the Kijun-sen. So we can look for further selling in corn. I don't see any reason why it should go higher here. We'll get soybeans. Soybeans, we do have a flat Tenkan-sen above and potential reversal doji. So we could see some buyers coming in for soybeans with resistance at 957.75 above. But overall bearish. Wheat, very bearish candle last week, confirming the potential reversal candle here. Put in a lower high and a lower low after losing the Tenkan-sen support at 502.50. So fully bearish, except for some factors that might not be totally bearish about wheat here is that we have the cloud sort of putting in an arch here. So if we do get back above 502.50, it's possible that these flat areas in the cloud could attract price. Keep that in mind. I'm going to look at the yen. So I'm looking at it anyway on my main screen. So the yen put in a perfect Tenkan smackdown. Wow, I wish I had traded that. I was watching it on the daily and not on the weekly, during the week. But yeah, so the yen closed last week under the Tenkan-sen and then opened up, tested the Tenkan-sen at 0.08241 and boom, sold like crazy. So it would be fun to call the bottom on the yen, but with only this really small bottoming tail, I'm not ready to do so yet. This chart is fully bearish. You can look at the euro. Euro looks quite tight on the 15-minute chart, actually. I see above. So the euro was unable to get above the Tenkan-sen last week after putting in this bearish candle. I thought that we might hold the Tenkan-sen, but instead we sold below the Tenkan-sen, came back, tested it, and we were unable to get above it. Tenkan-sen is currently at 110, basically. So if we get above 110 on the euro, we could be attracted to the flat Kijun-sen above at 115.26. In fact, that would be a really nice swing range trade if you wanted to try for that, although we didn't hit those levels before, so you might look at more 114 area far along on 6E. Let's look at a few stock charts, unless there's any other futures that I should go over. Let's look at the Nikkei. Nikkei has just been fully bullish, moving to the upside, although last week put in a new high, and this looks like potential reversal candle to me. So be aware that if we do get a lower high and a lower low, we could come down and test the Tenkan-sen at 198.33 on the Nikkei, but that would still be fully bullish. Unless we lose that level, then we could come down and test the Kijun-sen below, or maybe just some other areas below the Kijun-sen, but we don't know. The Kijun-sen actually might open up higher, might open up around the 188.77 level. Just trying to think if there's any other futures contracts anyone might be interested in. Let's look at Natty. Natty looking to be bearish after losing the Tenkan-sen. So we could come back and test the lows pretty easily with Natty as far as I'm concerned. We do have some gap fill area. We have this big gap fill area up here. I don't actually know if that was a contract changed event type gap because I don't trade Natty. It's one of the few contracts I don't trade. All right, let's look at some stocks. Let's look at Apple. Apple is fully bullish. See that we came down and didn't even manage to test the Tenkan Sen, but put in a close above the Tenkan Sen. If we do come down and test the Tenkan Sen, 128.82 would be a really nice place to buy, or wherever it opens when the new weekly candle opens up for Apple. If we do, pardon my swallow, if we do lose that level, the 128.82 area, then we could be setting up, if we do get an actual correction in this market, which is not entirely impossible, we could come down and test the 119.59 level. It's possible. And the markets have just opened. Let's look at IBM, since I was talking about it earlier. My platform could get really slow now that it actually has data coming to it. And I'm sure I'm losing people that have little interest in stocks. But so IBM could come down and test 167.35, the flat Tenkan Sen below. You see it sort of tracing the underside of the cloud here on the weekly time frame. Let's look at indeed, my platform is misbehaving. Let's look at Tesla. Yowza. Tesla is very bullish here. Put in this, we've been in this really beautiful uptrend since about 200, and multiple closes outside above the cloud. But we do have a lower cloud coming up for Tesla, and we do have this cloud twist. So it's entirely possible that Tesla could slide down this hill, and if it continues lower, if it gets below 230 or so, it could go crashing down through this cloud twist here, but that's not happening until the middle of July, so don't get too excited about a big Tesla crash, but keep an eye on the cloud levels. It could pull back to 234 area, 234.50 area, and still be fully bullish. All right, I'm kind of losing my voice, and I'm sure that I'm losing many people's attention spans, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. If you find yourself intrigued by Ichimoku Charts and you want to learn more, come and check out my chat room. I'm offering a $20 weekly trial for the moment. You're welcome to come and hang out there for a week. And if you trade futures and you don't make your $20 back for the week while you're in my chat room, I will give you your $20 back. How about that? So that's only if you have a live account. I'm not going to pay you back if you have a paper trading account and you can't make $20. So anyway, good luck trading this week. Check out my website at CloudChartist.com, and follow me on Ticker TV if you want to be notified when I go live. And also, I'll be releasing this video on YouTube later. If you want to get my videos, any videos I load up to YouTube, follow me there and you'll get a notification whenever I upload new videos. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and have a good evening.